Yeah, I mean, I just think this is all nonsense. I loved the fact on Friday when Kate went to Wales on a visit, she gave her recipe for plum jam away for free. While Meghan's trying to make a shed load of money out of hers. And I would like to think Kate did that on purpose, would you?
I think she obviously
Just to have a go at Meghan, because people do need to have a go at Meghan, I think. You know, I'm not interested. You know, she's not a housewife. She's not a, what do you call that woman in America? That blonde American woman who's got all the...
Oh, I know you
know what I mean?
Yeah.
She went to prison at one point.
Yeah.
Imagine being Meghan Markle. Would you return to Britain? Now that's a thought-provoking question that begs an exploration of the dynamics between Meghan Markle, the British press and the royal institution. This question is not just a product of idle speculation. It's rooted in the reality of the past few years, a period that has seen Meghan and her family leave Britain amidst a storm of controversy and media scrutiny. The treatment Meghan Markle received from the British press was far from ideal, and it played a significant role in her decision to step back from royal duties and relocate to the United States. The incessant scrutiny, the unending speculations, the relentless criticism, these were the harsh realities that Meghan had to navigate during her time in Britain. So, considering all these, would Meghan, a woman who now enjoys a life relatively free from such pressures, ever consider returning to Britain? Let's delve into the facts about Meghan's treatment by the British press. It is public knowledge that Meghan Markle experienced a tumultuous relationship with the British press. From the moment Meghan Markle, an American actress of mixed race, entered the British royal scene, the press was relentless. The media spotlight was harsh, often unforgiving, and constantly scrutinising her every move. It was an unprecedented level of attention, even for a royal newcomer. The British press, while known for its intrusive nature, seemed to have a particular interest in Meghan. Unfavourable headlines and negative press often painted her in a less than flattering light. Stories ranged from criticising her choice of clothing to questioning her family background, and even her avocados, with implications and insinuations that were racial in nature. The racial undertones were not only unjust, but also deeply troubling. It seemed the media had a different set of rules for Meghan, with her being biracial. Headlines were splashed with stereotypical and racist tropes. Meghan was portrayed as angry, demanding and diva-ish, language that was not only demeaning but also played into harmful racial stereotypes. The impact on her mental health was significant. Meghan admitted, in a heart-wrenching interview, that she struggled with suicidal thoughts during her time as a royal. The constant negative press, coupled with a lack of support from the institution she married into, led to a severe deterioration in her mental well-being. The British press did not just report on Meghan's life. They influenced the public's perception of her. She was vilified, her character assassinated, and her reputation tarnished. She was subjected to a media circus that seemed intent on tearing her down. The experience was so damaging that Meghan and her husband, Prince Harry, made the monumental decision to step back from royal duties and relocate to the United States. This move was not just about seeking a quieter life, but a desperate need for safety, respect, and mental peace. Considering this treatment, why would Meghan Markle ever return to Britain? Meghan Markle's decision not to return to Britain is firm and clear. Let's be real here. Meghan's life in the United States is flourishing. She's found the freedom she needed to breathe, to live, and to love without the oppressive scrutiny of the British press. She and Prince Harry have carved out a life of purpose and passion, championing causes that matter to them, away from the stifling confines of the royal family. In California, Meghan is thriving. She's launched a successful podcast, Archewell Audio, and an ambitious non-profit, Archewell Foundation. She's also penned a children's book, The Bench, inspired by her husband and son's bond. Meghan's work in the US is impactful, and she's doing it all on her own terms, without the constraints of royal protocol. The projects she's involved in, the life she's leading, they all reflect her authentic self. She's no longer just a royal figurehead. She's Meghan, a woman who's using her platform to create positive change. Let's not forget the peace and privacy she's found for her family. Archie and Lilibet, her children, are growing up away from the relentless glare of the British media. They are not growing up as royal pawns, but as children who are loved and protected fiercely by their parents. The narrative that Meghan is desperate to return to Britain is a fantasy spun by the media. It's a narrative that doesn't acknowledge the trauma she experienced, the pain she endured, or the strength it took to walk away. It's a narrative that fails to recognise the woman she's become, strong, resilient, and unapologetically herself. Why would Meghan return to a life that nearly broke her? She's found her voice, her purpose, her happiness in a place far away from the royal circus. She's building a legacy that is entirely her own. Meghan Markle is more than just a former royal. She's a woman making a difference, and she's doing it away from Britain. Meghan Markle has found her place away from Britain, and she is thriving. The British media seems to have an unhealthy obsession with Meghan's potential return. It's almost as if they've spun a fairy tale of their own, a narrative where the Duchess of Sussex, Meghan Markle, is the prodigal who left her royal life behind only to yearn for a grand return. But let's be clear, this is not a fairy tale. And Meghan is not a character in a storybook. She's a real person with real feelings and experiences, and her decision to leave Britain was based on very real issues. The media's fixation on Meghan's potential return has less to do with actual concern for her and more to do with their own needs. It's no secret that Meghan's name sells. Her journey, her charisma, her outspoken nature, and even her controversies, they all make for a tantalising headline. Without Meghan, the royals are just another family with a lineage and a title. The constant speculation about Meghan's return is not just intrusive, it's also misleading. It creates a false narrative that Meghan is desperate to return to a life she willingly left behind. But let's not forget, she left for a reason. She left because she was subjected to a relentless media onslaught, to unfair treatment, and to a life that was suffocating her individuality. Why would she want to return to that? The media needs to realise that it's not about Meghan's return, it's about their need for her return, their need for the clicks, the views, the money that her name brings, their need for a scapegoat, for a distraction from the real issues that plague the royal family. But Meghan Markle is not returning, and the media must accept this. It's time they shifted their focus from the woman who chose to leave to the royals who choose to stay. It's time they held them accountable, rather than obsess over a woman who has clearly moved on. After all, isn't it their duty to report the truth rather than spin tales around one woman's life? Meghan Markle's story is a powerful one about standing up for yourself and choosing your own path. It's a narrative that resonates with many, and it's one that we've delved into throughout this discussion. We've acknowledged the unhealthy fixation the British media has with Meghan and her non-return to Britain. We've examined the relentless storm of negativity she faced during her time in the public eye, and why she would choose not to subject herself or her family to such an environment again. As we've established, Meghan is not desperate to return. She's thriving, living life on her terms, and that's something we should celebrate, not condemn. We've also explored the media's obsession with her return, a fascination driven by a need for attention and profit. Without her, the narrative around the royals lacks the spark that Meghan's presence provided. But let's be clear, that's not her problem to solve. The media needs to find more constructive and responsible ways to generate interest and revenue, rather than relying on a single woman's perceived controversy. Furthermore, Meghan's children, Archie and Lilibet, should not be used as scapegoats or distractions for any other children. They deserve to grow up away from the spotlight, free from the burden of royal expectations. They are not pawns in a game. They are children who deserve a normal life. Rather than obsessing over Meghan, the British press should turn its attention to the royals they fund. Where is the accountability for Charles, William and Kate? They are the ones on the taxpayer payroll, and their actions should be under scrutiny. In conclusion, Meghan and Harry's decision to step away was a choice for their well-being and their family's future. It's a choice we should respect and accept, not challenge or question. The media, the royal watchers, and everyone else need to move on. It's time to move on from Meghan Markle's non-return to Britain. Let's respect her decision and focus on the real issues at hand.